Now, Jacques,
Yes.
I want to ask you a little bit also about your technological vision of what our society is capable of creating that currently today we are not utilizing. Some of these concepts are in your book as well,
Yes.
and the film Future by Design. What are some of the ways that we could be living in a different way that we aren't today, that you propose that we adopt a different form of lifestyle?
Okay. Our cities will be based on the circular scheme, meaning in the center of the city there's shopping, dental care, medical care, child care, education. So each district is the same distance from the center in the circular scheme. All transportation is built in. You get in a little unit and dial the area you want to go to. You don't drive cars. You're going to have more people killed on highways, and our cars are choking up now. It's not working. No political system works. Communism, socialism, all of these systems failed. I got my ideas from the human body, actually. If you think about it, and you have to think about these things. Suppose the brain said, I do all the thinking, I want those the nutrients. Then the lungs would say, if I don't oxygenate the air you breathe, you could not breathe as a brain. Then the liver would say, if I don't filter the blood, you both will die. So every organ of the human body gets whatever they need. When you get an infection in your toe, there's no committee meeting that goes to the brain and says there's an infection in the toe. The antibodies are sent there right away. And that's what I mean by using science, the methods of science, in social problems. There'd be no prisons, no police, no military in the system of our design. It would be based upon energy determinants.
Now, I'm curious about one thing, and I'm sure that's not what this is, but we're also seeing the centralization of power on planet Earth right now, the new globalization, as it's also been coined. How do you differentiate this society from an Orwellian police state, where everything is controlled and everything is prepackaged for the citizen?
Orwellian police state is a dictatorship of the power elite. That's what you have now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that double talk and all this sort of thing that you hear from Washington, D.C. You have the most corrupt government in history. You've never had a democracy. In other words, it's an illusion. You can't have a democracy unless children have access to good, nutritious food, health care, and equal opportunity for education. That does not exist in our country. And as long as that does not exist anywhere in the world, you don't have a democracy anywhere in the world. You don't pick the people for political office. They are picked by the establishment. And what is taught in schools is to honor and protect the system. People are elected not to change things, but to keep things as they are, so that the elite, that is American industry, can maintain global control and this is what everybody's after, control of the global resources. Soldiers, of course, are all duped. They don't understand that. In other words, if you had a real war, you conscript industry, men, so no one makes a profit on war. When you conscript the lives of men, you must conscript factories, automobile factories, munitions factories, so no one makes a buck out of war. How long do you think the war would last if no one made a buck? Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, I think I understand your point. Under this society, this new civilization, who exactly could manage it or should be managing it to prevent it from becoming bureaucratic like the system that we currently live under?
That. As long as you've got people in government, you're going to have problems. So here's how we do it. I will speak slowly, and what I say now applies to all areas of government. The Department of Agriculture would be computerized so that its electrical tentacles go deep into the soil. So if your water table drops, that system pumps water out there. If the nutrients change, it pumps nutrients out there. Do you follow me?
Yes, you're talking about using technology to in fact, use our natural resources, which are limited, in a more efficient manner?
Yes, not only that, but you got a bunch of so-called scientists working on terraforming other planets to make them habitable. Are you familiar with that?
Yes, there is some talk about...
Our own is falling apart. Do you understand that?
Mm-hmm.
So there's something dreadfully wrong with these guys. They ought to work on reclaiming the deserts and the earth So, and cleaning out the oceans and everything else. Otherwise, we can't live. None of us can. So when I say that there's no such thing as scientists, I mean that most scientists are pretty stupid people. They're narrow in one particular discipline. The scientific method is terrific, but that isn't taught. When you go to school, you're not taught how to relate to other people, how to find meaning in your own life. You're taught how to become a cog in the wheel of the established institutions. Am I going too fast?
No, but Jacques, I did want to ask you about something else. I understand that you are so passionate about this project. You've been working on it for a very, very long time. That you, in fact, you and Roxanne live a different way than some of us based upon the design of your homes. Could you tell us a little bit about your home there in Florida?
Well, they're essentially dome-shaped. Let's say that you don't want anything damaged by a hurricane. You make an inverted cone. You know what that means? An inverted cone, no hurricane can tear the roof off. If you don't want children drowning in swimming pools, you have a net on the bottom of the pool. If anyone sinks it to the bottom, that net comes up. When you leave home, the net comes up, so no one can drown in a swimming pool. Instead of having a sign on the highway, danger, slippery when wet, put abrasive in the highway so it's not slippery when wet. In other words, the problems are technical. They're not political. Politicians have no ability whatsoever to solve problems. You listen to your major broadcasts today, they interview military people and government people. What they should interview is sociologists, social psychologists, people that study history, historians. They don't interview the average person. They interview people that are part of the establishment. And the only answers they can come up with is bigger guns. Consider this, for example. Did you know that our nuclear submarines contain more destructive power than all the wars in history? I'm talking about one submarine.
Wow, that's amazing.
You understand how stupid can you be? We cannot fight
Jacques?
Nuclear war. It will destroy the earth and every living thing on it. That's what I mean by our particular society today won't even make the history books of the future. They are so backward in their way of thinking. Our language, our habits of thought, our social institutions are all designed years ago, hundreds of years ago, and we still maintain those values.
Amazing. Jacques, for what purpose do you think the elite, the government, different governments around the world, what purpose do you think that they have for ignoring new technologies that could save energy?
Because immediately they invest money in some system, like manufactured automobiles. They will be against, the manufacturers of automobiles will be against an adequate transportation system, because you can't sell cars. The establishment intends to perpetuate itself, not for the benefit of the human race, but for the benefit of those that seek the bottom line, profit.
Mm-hmm.
There's no real human concern. There never has been.
Jacques, we just have a couple more minutes left. Before I let you go, for anyone that wants to learn more about the Venus Project and other similar projects, where should they go again? TheVenusProject.com? www.thevenusproject.com.
Uh-huh. That's where you get more information. There's no way I'm going to be able to pack that information into this short discussion.
Mm-hmm.
If you're really interested in the end of war, the end of most crimes, all man-made laws, I should say most of them, are artificial, and they're usually broken. All the treaties between nations are broken by ourselves, by the Russians, by the British, so they don't work. What we have to learn is how natural law operates and live in accordance with natural law. If you don't get enough sleep and eat nutritious foods, you get sick.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean is, let's find out how we relate to the earth. And we must design our cities in accordance with the carrying capacity of the earth, not Fresco's opinions.
Well, Jacques, I want to thank you very much for coming on the program, and I recommend anyone that wants to learn more about your book and the DVD that was made, Future by Design, to check out www.thevenusproject.com. Jacques, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you, Alex, for the privilege of talking to people.
Thank you. I appreciate it.